Hey gamers, Rick here with Game Trade Media, and I have the distinct honor of being able to talk to Peter Adkison, the owner of Gen Con, which is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Congratulations, Peter.
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. So, got lots of questions for you. You know, as a fanboy of all things gaming, and I'm actually speaking of you, what is it about Gen Con that inspired you to want to purchase it when you did?
Well, it's the gathering of the tribe, you know. It's I think Gen Con's very important. It's the only show that's really focused right around tabletop games, role-playing games, board games, card games. And specifically, you know, the transaction of acquiring Gen Con was it was owned by Hasbro at the time.
Right.
It's probably not the right place for it. And Hasbro decided to wanted to get rid of some of the smaller parts of Wizards after they acquired Wizard of the Coast, which is fine. And so thankfully they gave me a call and said, "Hey, are you interested in X, Y, and Z? No, are you interested in Gen Con?" Yeah. I hadn't been working for about a year, so I was about that point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to go back to work. Okay. So I did. It was a wonderful deal.
Absolutely. I mean, Gen Con is like any other con out there. You go to a comic book convention, people are rushing to get their exclusives, find that one issue that they're looking for. It's not a very social event. It's social because there's so many people, but it's not truly social like Gen Con. And I think being a fan myself, coming here and seeing the energy and the love that everybody has for gaming, because I can go up to somebody at Gen Con and say, "Oh my God, I love that game," and they'll be like, "Oh my God, I love that game too," and that power and that energy and that love is there.
Yeah.
Unlike other conventions, I feel that way.
Well, I just speak from mine. I think the social aspect is really strong. We have a lot of families. We have a lot of people who maybe went to college together, but somebody moves here, somebody moves there. People have kids. Then Gen Con becomes this like a reunion time. It's like, hey, let's all get together at Gen Con. It becomes family vacation time. You know, it's a place to go. A lot of people come here to play games with people that they've known for a long time. Right. People that they've played, or even people like I play in a Burning Wheel group here, where the other players are all players that I met at a convention at Origins, and we play every Origins and every Gen Con. We come and get together and play games, play Burning Wheels.
Play Burning Wheels.
Yeah.
Now, when if you were going to talk to somebody that has never been to Gen Con, what is the one thing you would tell them to say, this is a con you need to come and enjoy, and this is why?
Well, I think first of all, they've got to be, if they're a tabletop gamer, you start with that. Like if you are a fan of tabletop games, then yeah, this is the event you got to be at. It's the greatest gathering of tabletop gamers, and if you've never been there, I'd say start in the exhibit hall. That's an easy place. Everybody knows how to shop, right? And I got to say, I remember John Zizer once telling me, the first time he went to Gen Con, he walked into the exhibit hall. It was like Christmas. He's looking like, wow, everywhere, all these banners, every game company's ever heard of, and then people selling costuming and accessories and everything. So I'd say, start with the shopping, start with open gaming. There's there's an art show, there's costume contests, there's just all sorts of stuff to do.
Now, here at Gen Con 50, you have put together a museum that shows what it was like at Gen Con 1, basically, right? And how did it come about, the curation and the concept of wanting to make that a reality?
Well, John Peterson, who wrote Playing at the World, which is a book I highly recommend. It's probably the best researched work on the history of tabletop games, starting way back with wargaming, the Prussians, and all the way up. He came to me, a few years ago. We got to know each other, got to be friends. So about 2 years ago, John says, "Oh, Peter, what do you got planned to celebrate Gen Con 50? And I kind of had the blank stare, I don't know, maybe we'll have a band or something. John's like, I got a better idea. So John is also a big collector of tabletop gaming history. And he says, and he knows all the other collectors, because these guys always end up bidding against each other in auctions for the best items. So he said, we'll put our squabbles aside, and we'll bring you the best collection you could ever imagine of tabletop gaming ephemera from through the ages. And so that was his idea, and he needed somebody like me to, in the position at Gen Con to, beat my chest and say, hey, we're gonna make this happen, damn it.
Right.
And So I started with Adrienne, who's the CEO of Gen Con, and she immediately loved the idea. She's like, "Oh, we could build this whole thing," so that's somewhere along the line. I think Derek weighed in on this. We were like, "Well, let's have let's build a museum, a temporary pop-up museum, and let's do it in the shape of Horticultural Hall, which is where Gen Con, the first Gen Con, was held."
And that was in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
In Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. In fact, if you go to the museum, there's even footage. In 1974, a camera crew from Lake Geneva news station went down there and filmed them. So we have footage of people playing war games in Horticultural Hall Gen Con 7.
That is awesome. That is so cool. Now, it's 50 years of Gen Con.
Yes.
Now, what is it that you expect, or what is your dream for the next 50 years? What do you want to see happen?
Well, I mean, I own it as a business, so of course I'd like to see it do well as a business. I think that, the stress is how do you have something big, but at the same time, family and friendly.
Sure.
I hope that we can keep that. I hope we can keep this sense that Gen Con is a place that people come together, they see their friends, they see their family, they learn how to play games, they play games with other people who love the same games they do, or to go try new games. That sort of love and excitement, and at the same time, take advantage of being big. Let's have spectacle as part of Gen Con.
Right.
Big, cool stuff that you just can't
Absolutely.
see anywhere else.
Speaking of the big things, you took over the stadium, the football stadium here, so that's pretty big.
Yes.
You have this thing, the True Dungeon.
Yes.
Which is
massive,
getting
really
bigger
excellent.
every year.
Yeah.
And better storylines and
Yes.
better. I mean, it's amazing.
Jeff Martin's really done great with this.
Very well.
Yeah.
So I really look forward. I look forward to the next 50,
Thank
as I'm
you.
sure all gamers out there that are
Yes.
fans of Gen Con, fans of everything that you're doing in the industry and helping out,
Thank you.
keeping the love alive.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we all have a good time for the next 50 years. Thanks to you.
Thank you. Thank you
And
very much.
appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
And
Great.
on to the next.
All right.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to Game Trade Media for lots of cool content. We're going to be back real soon with some really cool stuff. Go to your local game shop, support the community, be a part of the community. Have a good time.
Don't forget to subscribe to Game Trade Media. Leave a like and comment on what videos you'd like to see next.